Hi guys, first thing you're going to need to make this mini notebook is some scissors. I have them right here. Also, you're going to need some paper. I only use one sheet, but if you mess up, it's good to have some more on hand. Also, you're gonna need these like foam sheets. They're like paper, but they're made out of foam, and I happen to have some on hand, so I decided to make one of these little mini notebooks. I used blue. But you can use, first thing you can do is pick any color of foam you want. You could also use colored paper, but I just like to use foam. Then you're going to draw out your little notebook cover. So I made mine really small. You can make yours medium, or you can even make a big notebook. You're just going to need a lot more paper. So you're going to draw it out, make sure they're pretty even. You can cut them, when you cut them out, you can make sure they're even by putting them together and then cutting out on the edges. So I did that off camera. Now, the second thing you need to do is take the paper and fold it in half. After you fold it in half, oh, and by the way, it doesn't have to be precise at all. So you fold it in half, and then you're going to fold it in half again the other way, and then you're going to keep on folding it in half until it gets about the same size as your cover. But in the end, mine was much bigger than my cover, but I just drew around it to make sure it was good. So here I'm folding it to a little bigger than the size of my cover, and you can see it's not very precise at all. It does not need to be precise. I am not a precision girl. So you do this, and then you take one of your covers so that you can find the right amount of paper. You want to do it on the edge where it's folded the most, because that will leave the best results. And then you're going to trace around it. So you put it on the edge here. You're going to trace around it, and to get the paper the right size of your notebook. You might end up cutting it a little smaller than how you drew, so that the paper doesn't stick out from the edge of the notebook. So I cut mine smaller here. So go ahead and cut it out, and make sure it's on the edge. The edge just makes it, you don't have to cut in that much. Cut this out and see you next. Okay, so here I have my paper. As you can see, it's separated by each page, but when we put it all together, it will not be. So like this, it's just kind of binded together a little bit. That's why you want to do it on the edge. So you can see it like this. And then you're going to take your cover and put it on the top right here, like that. And then you're going to take the bottom part and put it on the bottom, and try to make sure they're as even as possible. So just put it there, just hold it there for a little, and put it like that. So it's like a little sandwich. Foam, paper, foam. Next thing we're going to do is make a little piece of foam for the bind. I have it here, it's a little scrap, and you're going to add it right to the edge of where your notebook would be. Align it with one side, and then you're going to cut off the excess that's right there. So here it shows me cutting this off. I just made a little mark so that I can take away the notebook and start cutting it without any problems. And I just cut a straight line across so I have the bind that will work. And then the next thing we're going to do is glue the bind onto the thing with hot glue. So I'm going to glue it on with hot glue, so that's the best type of glue that you can use for this. So yeah. So I did not have any hot glue. I really thought I did. Apparently I didn't. So I'm going to use staples. So I'm not going to use the bind. I'm just going to use staples for this. So here I'm going to staple it. So I considered putting one staple right in the middle because it's so small but then I decided against it because I wanted to have the edges also very secure. So I stapled 2 on the bind. And then after I stapled both, I realized that the second one was way too close to the edge and it did not go all the way through. So I realized that when I flipped it over and I did not see the staple marks from the back. I'm like, that's weird, it did not actually staple. It did staple, but it did not like go through all of it. So here I had to staple it again, but first you need to pull that staple out. You can just like pull it out. It's okay if it rips the foam a little, it's fine. And then I lined it up again and I staple it. So here you have a little notebook. You can choose to leave it like this, but I decided to be a little more precise, even though I'm not very precise. But and I took scissors and I cut off the little edges so that it will be as close as it can to each other. You can see that here. Lots of scraps fell on the floor, but who cares? I'll clean that up later. So I cut it all. Here I did not realize that I was not in the camera, so sorry about that. So here it looks like a little book and it's really cute. But I decided to add a little more stuff. So what I did here is I chose to use a little Posca pen, a silver Posca pen, because that's what I had on hand, to make a little decoration on it. So I drew a smiley face. I did not like the smiley face. I didn't want to make a whole nother one, so I just stuck with the smiley face and wrote my name at the bottom. So you can write little notes in this notebook or do whatever you want. So I just wrote something here for my mom, so maybe just because it's all I could think of. So I wrote something in there, and you can write more stuff. And if you have like a bracelet or something, I have a scrunchie, you can like tuck it in there and keep it with you whenever you want. Mine is small enough that I could just keep it there, so I could take it out, flip to the next page, and write like a math problem that you need to memorize, or some sort of thing, whatever you want. So here I just wrote a random math problem that I already memorized, but who cares? And you can stick it back in your bracelet, and you have a really cool notebook. Bye! Make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Bye!